Okay, I think we have a quorum. We're going to go ahead and I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the
republic which stands
one
nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Lou, we had lost you for a minute. We called the meeting.
Shut down.
All right, we had called the meeting to order. Motion to approve the minutes of August the 19th.
Commissioner Gibbons, so move.
Earl Pine, second.
Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Financial report and payment of the bills. Do we have a motion to approve the financial report?
So move, Earl Pine.
And a motion
Commissioner
by Earl.
Brimble, second.
Very good. Any discussion on the financial report?
Yes, Lewis wrote on wanted to check to hold up Wickersham. Is that because of the building's damage?
You're on mute, Lou. Lou, you're on mute.
But, Cap,
You're on mute, Lewis.
am I okay?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
Lewis,
wait.
I just mentioned that one of the check to Wickersham that I signed was held up. Is that because of the building damage?
Yes, there did a walkthrough today for the punch list. I want to make sure those punch list items are addressed before we issue the final check.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we had a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Steve, we have a budget amendment.
I do have one. It's to recognize an additional $121,475 from the highway user revenue fund balance. I gave the budget.
Okay.
Okay. It's budget amendment number 2020-17. It's to recognize an additional $121,475 out of the highway user revenue fund balance. What happened is the revenue was short by that amount of money in addition to the budget amendment I presented last month for the highway user revenue. So in effect, between those two budget amendments, we expended $261,000 more out of the highway user revenue than we received in the current year, because receipts in the current year were far below what was originally budgeted, certainly due to the COVID-19 situation and people not traveling and buying gas. But we still have about $800,000 in the highway user revenue fund balance from prior years, unspent revenues received but not expended.
Very good. Do we have a motion to approve budget amendment 2020-17?
Commissioner Brimble, so moved.
Okay, we got Brumel with the motion and Piner with the second. Any discussion?
That was Rob.
It wasn't
Rob. That was Rob.
Rob with the second. Any discussion on the budget amendment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Hey, Lou, before we move on with the presentation by the Ferris Foundation, I think we have a special recognition for a young lady that I see on our screen. Do you have that recognition in front of you?
Oh,
No, I don't.
Okay, I have it here in front of me. I'll go ahead and read it. Hello, Sarah, Kathleen Persigan. How are you?
Hello, Sarah.
hi, Sarah.
Come on, don't
Hello.
be shy with us. We're going to make you famous here today. We really appreciate everything that you did with that playground. It really it means a lot when our community gets involved, and you have set a standard that we all could live by in our community, and we really appreciate everything that you did. And I'd like to read to you a special recognition award that the town of Elton would like to give to you today. And when we get back to normal, I have a very nice challenge coin I'd like to give you also. So I'm gonna read this to you. The mayor and commissioners of the town of Elton present to Sarah Kathleen Persigan, be it known that on behalf of the citizens of Elton, in recognition of your initiative and respect for your neighborhood, we hereby extend our sincere gratitude and official commendation for your exemplary standing as a citizen of our community. Given under our hands a seal of the town of Elton this day, the second day, 2020. Thank you so much for doing that. And it's going to be signed by myself and the commissioners. But we really appreciate everything that you did for the neighborhood. You're going to say a word or two?
She's really nervous.
I know she is. Mom, you
Oh,
want to say something?
Okay. She's gonna be nervous. So we're still working on the playground.
Yeah.
And we purchased the parts for the rock wall that we're adding. She still wants to continue and see what we can do to add more to it. And the kids in our neighborhood are actually back there playing, and they've thanked us for cleaning up and making it better. But yeah, she still wants to look for donations and people willing to help us out to build more stuff for the playground. She wants a swing set. Right? I don't know how we go about that. Yeah, we don't know how to go about doing any of that.
And this is at Delancey Village.
Yes.
Very good. So what we'll do is we'll have Mary McGall from our Parks and Recreation reach out to you guys and see how we can help you.
That'd be awesome.
I'd like to give her a clap.
There you go.
yeah. Way to go, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. We're going to
Thank
move
you,
on to
Sarah.
conduct our business, but thank you so much.
There you
Good job.
Hey, Lou, why don't we go ahead and move
Hi,
forward
honey.
with, whoop, we lost Lou again. No, we didn't. Hey, Lou,
Uh,
let's go ahead and move forward with your business so we can give Mike a little bit more time if we could.
Yeah, I just have a quickie. The resolution R5 2020, this is the third amendment. The town has up to this point granted the businesses along Main Street areas for outside, dining and things of that nature. Usually in the area, just in the area of East Main Street, North Street, and on up the block a little bit. The current authorization for them to do this would expire in September, which is already here. But so this allows the continuation of that activity until October 17th. And in October, if we want to extend it, we'll do it again. But I would recommend that the board authorize R5 2020 Third Amendment, extending the use of the Main Street for outside dining to those businesses until October 17th, 2020.
Do we have a motion to approve resolution R5-2020, our third amendment of this?
Commissioner Massimiano will make a motion.
Can we get
Earl
Rob?
Pine, Earl Pine, second.
And Earl, any discussion on this? One of the comments that came up was in regards to parking collectively. And I know that we have, we're going to go back to the enforcement of parking on in the town. I think we're going to start in like about 2 weeks, is it, Lou? I think I saw.
Yes.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So I think that that'll satisfy some business owners, because some of the parking has been taken up by the tenants that live above. So I think that
Correct.
back to schedule, and with that, I think it'll work out pretty well.
And
Any
will
other-
the tenants be aware of that, though? Make sure we have some kind of notification for them?
What we do, we'll send, I'll send a note to Jessica Price, the Elkton Alliance, and she will contact all the property owners along there and businesses that will start enforcement measures. So that way they'll give them a heads up before Clara goes out and starts writing any tickets.
All right, thank you.
Okay. we
But
have a-
will the property owners notify their tenants? Because they're the ones who really need to let know that, they need to stop parking on the street all day.
Well, we don't know who the tenants are. We don't have that information. We
Right.
only have property information.
Yeah, that'd be left up to the property owners.
Yeah, we don't have tenant information.
I can tell you that I have spoke to 3 of the property owners and I've made them aware that we're going to start moving forward with it. So I know that they were going to start letting their tenants know. So I think
Oh, okay.
collectively, I think I hit pretty much the heart of the town with the 3 landlords.
We'll probably, the police department will let Clara issue a warning ticket first. That way, if any tenant has a car out or vehicle out there, they'll get a warning initially. That way they will know it, rather than just say, "I don't want the ticket right away."
Very
That'd be
good.
great. Okay, we had a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of Resolution R5 2020?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Aye.
Perfect. Okay, we're going to open up the floor. We have a special guest, Michael Brandon from the Paris Foundation. And Mike is going to touch base about wants to talk a little bit about the discussion about relocating the Paris Foundation. I know it's been a very difficult time with the flooding down there. And we get the 2-year nuisance flood about 4 times a year. And I know that you've been hit with it pretty hard, especially this last time. So, Mike, you're on. Give us a little bit of update.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, folks, for giving us a few minutes of your precious time. To my right is Bob Imperatrice, who is our board president and the founder of the Paris Foundation. What we would like to do is pick up where we had hoped to be back in April with our discussion about our proposal to relocate our ministry from Bridge Street to Hollingsworth Manor, specifically in the adjacent lot to the Family Education Center. And what we propose is to build a community center, multi-service facility on that site that would provide meeting space for community groups and local agencies, such as the Early Childhood Advisory Council, the Family Education Center itself, the Hollingsworth Landing Association, and other organizations and agencies that currently, up until COVID, had been using our space on Bridge Street for meetings and meeting with clients. What we propose is in the building would include an auditorium with space for a stage that would be used for concerts, plays, worship services, and dining. We envision designated areas for music and art, particularly music and art therapy for early childhood involvement, and continue to be a point of contact for agencies and organizations to meet with clients that they're unable to reach otherwise, such as Voices of Hope, the Health Department, and the VA. As I said, many of these activities were going on at our building, but obviously with 26 inches of water, thanks to Isaias, as well as the COVID-19 issues, we've been severely curtailed in our ability to impact the community. We have been able to continue grab-and-go meals over 165 days now, serving from our loading dock area. But it's time to move forward. And we realize to make a lasting impact, we need to break the cycle of poverty. We need to break the cycle of addiction. And the best way we believe that is by early intervention. And so we partnered with the organizations, the school district, Family Education Center, Head Start, et cetera. And we believe that by locating right in the heart of Hollingsworth Manor, in the midst of that community, that we will be able to reach approximately 300 families within the downtown area, Hollingsworth Manor and Elk Landing, in a positive way and be a community resource for them. We're not building a gymnasium. We're not starting a basketball league. We want to focus on creative expression, arts, music, drama. We envision maybe a children's choir. We have volunteers that are certified and willing to be involved with music and art lessons, drama. We believe that with the trauma-informed training that the county and the school district or the school system have engaged in, that our efforts would dovetail very neatly and nicely with that, and we would be in the heart of the battle, so to speak. And we're willing to do that if we can do that in a reasonable way with the town of Elkton that benefits both. So that's kind of what we hope to do there and what it would entail. The building itself, structure, and those types of things, I can turn over to Bob here, who is a professional contractor as well as our board chair, but I could take it at this point right now.
Very good. Mike, you and I have had discussions over the last few years in regards to this, and I believe it has merit. I believe that if there's any way that we could pull this off, but I think that what I'd like to ask is that you schedule some time with our administrator, either with Lewis or Gene Minner and Chip, and see how we can make it work. I think we need a better understanding of that. I know we have a lease down there on a property. So I think what you're proposing is maybe to build next to it. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me turn that over to Bob real quickly.
Yeah, so just to kind of bring you up to speed a little bit on that, I had talked with Chip maybe before COVID, and then we had also talked to an engineer that I use over at Larson's, Andrew Collins over at Larson Engineering, had done kind of a preliminary look at the property and the facility and how stormwater management and so on and so forth would work on that property. Fortunately, that doesn't look like it's going to be a problem. We do know that there's plenty of room on that lot to put a building. How we would incorporate that into the existing building or tie it in. Obviously, aesthetically, we want it to look similar to the building that's there now so that it doesn't look like an odd building. So we kind of want to merge those two buildings together. And even with MRDC, we were hoping that we could kind of partner with them and see what needs that they have in their facility that they can't presently, or that they presently have, that we can incorporate into our building. So I would certainly be willing to sit down with Gene. I know that Andrew had reached out to Gene back before COVID. She just wasn't aware that we were kind of even looking in this direction. But we're very interested in doing what we have to do, from a proposal, renderings, getting engineers involved to let you guys know that when we do this, obviously we want to do it correctly. So we're interested in moving forward, and whatever else information that you guys would need going forward, we provide for sure.
Well, we appreciate that. I know that Lewis probably knows that parcel like the back of his hand and all the ins and outs as far as what we can do, can't do, how we could do it. And so I think he has to be in the loop all the way through with Gene. And but does any of the board members have any, do you have any issues with it collectively? Thinking about it from the big picture, do you have any issues? Or if you do, then we probably need to either say we do or don't at this point.
I don't have any issues.
What's the square footage of this proposed building?
The proposed building will be about 10,000 square feet, but it'll be approximately 7,500 square foot of footprint on the lot. So the front half of the building will be 2 stories, and the back part will be one. It's 2 stories, but just one level.
And who's the engineer doing the site plan and all that?
Who will be the engineer?
Yeah, you have to have the site engineered.
Yes, so Larson Engineering, Andrew Collins over at Larson Engineering, who I've worked with in the past on other projects. I think the last time I worked with him in Elkton was when we built the MAG properties right there next to Royal Farms.
What about an architect? Do you have an architect lined up? Or?
Yeah, Architectural Alliance out of Wilmington, Delaware is who I typically work with. So they've gotten on board and said that they would help us with renderings and floor plans and so forth for preliminary meetings.
Yeah, they have to do. We'd have to have architectural plans for construction and everything.
Yes, absolutely. We would go about the process just like we would any.
How's all this funded?
Excuse me?
How's this funded? So
presently we're working on that. Some of The reason we haven't gone any further with funding at the moment is we need to find out, is this even something that you guys are going to allow us to do? Even before I go into big engineering costs with Larson, if you guys are saying to us, no, we don't even want this building or this proposed idea in Hollingsworth Manor, then we're gonna look somewhere else for sure. But right now, we just need to know, is this something that the board is interested in? Is it something that we can move forward on? And if so, I would like to set up a follow-up meeting with Andrew Collins from Architectural Alliance, myself, and then whoever else would need to be at that meeting from your side.
Now, the reason I ask about funding is if you have funding from state or federal sources for this, they may have a lot of red tape involved in how this project is either developed or how you select people to do the work with minority involvement, so many different complicated aspects to it when you get federal state money involved in building something.
Correct. So right now, presently, when we started the Paris Foundation, collectively as a group, we decided not to ever take government funding. We are looking into government funding, but for what we do for the Paris Foundation, everything has been private donations. We're on church mission budgets and so on and so forth. That's how we manage our business today. But yes, moving forward into this, if there are ways that we can get involved with some government funding that would help us build the building, we're open to that and actively pursuing that. Yes. MRDC. Yeah, with the help of MRDC. Yes.
Any questions?
I think he's looking for a consensus from the board whether this is a feasible project for that area in Hollingsworth Manor, and I think we can't give an immediate response because we'll have to look into some, do a little research here, and then we can get back to them.
I was going to say, we as the board would have to wait until the plans go through Gene and all you guys before we can see what exactly is being proposed to us. I mean, even though we heard it, we can't say, I'm not against it. I'm just saying we have to see what you guys are really going through as far as getting all the ends together and bringing it to us. So right now, we're on board to moving forward to letting you guys go ahead and do whatever you have to do in order to get it started. Is that fair to say that?
Yeah.
Oh, Pastor Mike.
On board with it, right?
Wait a minute, Lord. Pastor Mike.
Yes, sir.
Charles Gibbons, how you doing? You've done an incredible job out there with the Paris Foundation. I know you very well, and I know that you had made attempts to have a building out there for this purpose. And with that, you certainly would enhance the area. I guess there would be a lot of foot traffic, but with building the future building out there, do you see any negative drawbacks?
No, because we're working so closely with the Family Education Center. As Bob mentioned, the building, even aesthetically, it's going to present a campus type of program. And we've done events in the community. We've helped launch the Hollingsworth Landing Association. They're behind us. They're looking forward to it. MRDC at the board level, their executive director, they're behind us and want to offer resources and assistance, technical assistance, whatever it might be with grants. We want to be in a place where folks can walk to us. We know that transportation is one of the biggest issues in Cecil County for people accessing services. And so instead of telling people, here's the building, if we build it, you can come, we're going to take the building to the community. And that's our heart for this ministry, is to be in the community, to be a part of the community, and be available to the community.
And I think it's great. I encourage you, and just the fact that having another building with the aesthetics of the current building out there, the educational center, that would be great.
Yeah, great.
So Louis, quick question: what is it that you would need, or Gene would need, moving forward? Would it just be a Zoom meeting with Andrew Collins from Larson Engineering, just to kind of give, he did some calculations, some preliminary calculations to see if the footprint that I would like to put on that lot would even work. So he's kind of done some of that preliminary work. Obviously, moving forward, we would like to know whether or not you guys would even approve this before we go spending a lot of money on engineering or architectural drawings.
Well, if there's any preliminary work done, just to say how this building will theoretically be sited at this location, before you get into any expensive work,
Right.
we'll set up a meeting. Jean Minners would be our primary person here,
Okay.
because she could quickly tell you whether this is going to fit in there or not.
Right.
And of course, I and Jean and Charles Bromwell and we'll all internally discuss the feasibility of this on that lot and everything, and we can get back to you.
Okay.
But make sure you send us, I need to have an email address for everyone involved on your end
Okay.
sent to me, so we can communicate. We don't want to play tone tag and all that. We usually go by electronic mail. That's how we operate here.
Sure, sure. Yeah, and again, what Andrew's done, he has the existing, I went in and Chip got me the whole site plans, and I took those over to Andrew, met with him, and so he
Okay.
has the plans, and that's how he did his preliminary evaluations. But I don't know what he would have electronically necessarily to send to us. It would be more of a verbal saying that he believes, based on the calculations in the stormwater management that's there existing, whether or not it could work. And then we would like to hear from you guys say, yes, if we believe from an engineering standpoint that it can work, then we'll move forward. And then at that point, the board would definitely see some renderings, see architectural drawings, site plans, all that kind of stuff. Yes.
Okay. That sounds like a good place to start. We'll talk to him and we'll go from there.
Very good.
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead, Gene.
Yeah, so I recommend that we first have a discussion with Chip Bromwell, Charles Bromwell, myself, to discuss different aspects of the project, the number of, the amount of traffic and that sort of thing that might be drawn to the site. I had a question as to whether or not there was outreach to the neighborhood. Do the neighbors know that this is a possibility and what their reaction is? So that would be some of my questions. But then we need to look at the zoning and your engineering would all have to be reviewed by our engineers. You have to go before the planning commission for a new building on the site. So you have a planning commission meetings, you've got engineering plans that have to be drawn up, stormwater management, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Just the way we would handle any new construction project. Yeah.
Right, right. So we should start with a meeting, a Zoom meeting. I think Chip prefers face-to-face, but I'm fine with a Zoom meeting.
Okay. Yeah, and Chip and I have just talked about this project briefly. There were even some things that he brought up just from a construction standpoint, whether, we envision like using like a catwalk style awning that would connect the two buildings just so that staff from both buildings can travel back and forth out of the weather. And he brought up that if we attach it to the building, there could be potential issues with sprinkler systems because the old building is not sprinkled. And so we understand that all those things would come into play, and we know that this is your building, it's your property, it's your building, and we would respect the fact that whatever we do, we're hoping to enhance that property, not take away.
Right. That's great.
All right, I think we have a game plan. Thank you guys for presenting with this.
Thank you for giving us the time. We really appreciate it and look forward to partnering as we go forward.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Lou, you didn't have anything else to report, correct?
No, not today, Mayor.
Okay, very good. I had a couple things. The application process for the chief of police, September the 4th, which is Friday. How many applications are we up to at this point?
I think we have 20 or 21 now.
Okay. Very good. Yesterday, Governor Hogan announced that we're moving into phase 3 on Friday. They're going to allow a little bit larger gatherings. More people can participate in the church services and so forth. So hopefully everyone has reviewed what the governor had sent over. But looks like Maryland's done a pretty darn good job of keeping the COVID down to a very low number. And most importantly, the casualties along with this disease has been staying the same at a steady number in Cecil County. So I think overall, the county has done a fantastic job with it, so which is great news. That's all I have to report. Rob Maspiano, anything for you?
No, not really. I was going to bring up the parking issue downtown. A few of my business neighbors have approached me about the long-term parking that's being done on Main Street, but apparently that's being addressed now. I saw the email this morning about Miss Clara May returning to work. I think that's great. And that should, like you said, ease their minds.
Yeah. Thank you. Commissioner Piner, Commissioner Earl Piner,
I have nothing to report today. Thank you.
Commissioner Jean,
I'm good, thank you.
Commissioner Charlie Givens.
Yes, Rob, you said that Governor Hogan has enhanced the area. We still need to be understanding of the distancing and washing our hands and other things to go along with it, but it's all good. And I think you're right, Maryland and Cecil County has done a good job. And lastly, I want to thank Kathleen Adams for hosting us today. I think this is her first time doing it before us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the time we open up the floor for the public. I've got 10:11.
This is Dick Lemon.
Yes, sir, Mr. Lemon.
I have a question about the highway user funds. It appears they're restricted to certain usage. Can you explain that to me, please?
Highway user funds can only be used for streets, maintenance of streets or bridges. We don't have any bridges. So it's just used for streets only. You can't use it for any other operating costs.
So I hear we have $800 in the kitty. So that means that it has to be used just for streets. It can't be used for anything else. Is that correct?
No, we use it for milling, paving town streets. That's what it's all used for.
Okay, it can't be used for storage or anything under the streets?
No.
Just, okay. So it's shown in the budget. I don't have the budget in front of me, but what I remember is it's shown for the current year's projected funds, but I've never seen a mention of the $800 or whatever that it would be at the time in the budget. Huh?
It's 800,000. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually have, I don't want to use the word a surplus of highway user funds, but we haven't used it all up over the years, but we're starting to use a little bit more of it.
That's correct. There's 541,000 budget in the current year.
Yes.
541,000.
541.
Well, thank you for explaining that. I didn't understand it. I don't still fully understand it, but I've got an idea now. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a phone number of 415. Nothing to report there. Very good. Okay, this is I'm going to tell you it is now 12:34. This meeting is adjourned.